Good morning, buenos dias, konnichiwa. It's Merritt here with Apteros Trading. Let's look at the S&P. Let's start with yesterday, what we said and what happened. I'll go ahead and change the view so we don't look at this bull level. If you want to know why I'm saying that, go back and listen to yesterday. We weren't really focused on that, but it was something, if we got down there, that was of concern. How did we weight WEIGHT? How did we weight all these levels? Well, the most important thing coming into the open while we were doing this prep, in fact, we said we were already long, was the bull zone, more so than the bear zone. Now, if we saw strong sellers reject that area, which we ultimately saw over here, that leads to bearishness. We could either short from there, or we could short if the bull zone breaks down, which was these two, which I guess, I don't know if it's was or were, which was these two trade locations, which were, I think it's was. I was initially right there. Okay. We'll fix this in editing. But we didn't see that rejection until later in the afternoon. We saw what we call compression into this level, right into the open. It's funny how these things work, into the open, into the close. But anyways, so we were already long. We held that position. Great job. Now, what we looked for continuation was a hold into this level to get us up to here. That's the expectation there. And guess what? That doesn't happen here. And quite frankly, that was a lot of selling that came in terms of the speed, the momentum that came in. Because think about it. What does a profile look for the pit session here? Well, you got an LVN up through here. You start to build value here, and you zip right back through that LVN to the point of this compression breakout, right? So it's classic type stuff. Can the buyers maintain this level? VWAP was in the area. Ultimately, no, they cannot. We break through, and again, there's the short trade location, because you got to change your bias at that point. You could change your bias here, potentially, short term. You definitely change it here once this doesn't hold. And then there's no question, once the bull line itself breaks down, you're bearish from there. So a little long on the recap here, but I thought it was a session worth going over. Several great opportunities, especially coming into the open, to be positioned properly for that upside favorable movement. Let's talk about today. So here we are at the hard right edge. How much time? 34 minutes until the pit session open. And quite frankly, depending on your time frame, right? Whether you're just looking for a couple scalps off the morning, whether you're looking for the ideal intraday, position trade, there are different ways that you could think about this market, or even I should say should think about this market, depending on those views. So it is tough for someone like me to consistently step in and give the best advice for everyone. Not that this is trading advice, but you know what I mean. The best levels, here's where the bias is that I'm seeing. So most of the time, my perspective is intraday position trade, intraday swing trade, right? Get the best trade location and then hold it for all you can. This market is, in general, experiencing dissonance. You have some of the highest time frames which have gotten exhausted, right? That's why we went sideways for several days, and now we're in more of a phase where we've rolled over. But as we've seen, we've come into bull zones, especially, I know we haven't touched this one. I don't think we've touched it precisely. We got close. We got to right here. But this bull zone that I keep talking about is not a major factor, but it's something that I'm going to be very interested in if we touch it. Well, I think what's happened over the past couple days here is that that's actually been something that's getting front ran. I don't know English today. It's all good. People are stepping in front of that level buying because it's a major swing inflection for the next all-time highs or whatnot, right? So I think that's what's happening. I think that's where there's bullish pressure from that area, which is why we're not seeing, let's say, the normal sell-off. We're not even able to get all the way to that level. It's just getting people stepping in front of it. So I think that's imparting bullishness on the market. I think you still have a sliver of bearishness here. This is the very last thing, other than potentially this, but this I've brought down its weighting to neutral because we had already left that area, and now this will be several times that we revisit it. I know we continue to not be able to hold into it, right? Just like yesterday, we got into here, and that was the first sign when we broke back down out of there. But the more times we knock on that door, we're going to get through. That's just how markets work. So this, which by the way, guys, on a micro basis, this bear level, we're holding above. I feel like I'm rambling today. I apologize, but I feel like for some students especially, this is a helpful talk. I do want to try to keep these videos more concise, so I apologize to those of you who are just looking for the hypos, essentially. Feel free to give us feedback in comments, in community, message me, email us, whatever you like. All right, so on a micro basis, you can be bullish. On most time frames, you can be bullish. I do think this bearishness is still here, but as long as we're continuing to hold above this level on any time frame, such as these little small holds we're seeing, you can go with that from a bullish perspective. You can be positioned long off here. You can look to definitely position long if we get into here. You can definitely look to position long if we get above this neutral level, right? Standard type procedure. Where it's tricky is if you want to maintain bullishness while getting back below this bear level. That's what's tricky. I think you can do it. I think it's a matter of priorities. I think for me, I'm most focused on the 4,500 level, and I'm mostly bullish as long as that's holding. I would be short-term bearish if that broke down, and then again, if we get to these 4470s, that's a major swing inflection, right? But you could scalp short on the way. Where it's tricky is in between these two, right? I'm leaning more bullish than bearish, and so I'm going to lean that way. But if you like, there's a beautiful thesis where if we break down 08 here, you can be short. You got to be careful about this, and then this is kind of the target zone where it gets very important. So that's what I'm seeing. Long video. Cheers.